Hi everybody, today I want to talk about magazines. This was actually part of a stack that someone had behind their reading chair. And what we did was we definitely took all the little newspaper bits and newsletter bits out of here. And then so what's left, I want to tell you what they are in case like something's triggering an idea for you. So I have the New Yorker, I have some Time, I have Harper's, I have the Atlantic, and I have Mother Jones. So just as an example of magazines. Now, I checked a couple places, and I'm just gonna check my notes real quick here. So Recycled Reads in Austin, which is like the retail store for our library program. People can donate books and then they can buy them back really cheap and the funds go towards the library. They said absolutely no magazines at Recycled Reads. Now, at Half Price Books, if you have what is more of a collectible magazine, which was not defined, or something very, very recent. And I mean, these kind of are. They might take them. Now, it's been my experience that you don't get very much from Half Price Books for the amount of time it takes them to look through and price it. So I'm just gonna put that out there. And the magazines at Austin Creative Reuse, they have to be older than the 1970s. Now, what you can also try is to find local like art programs, kids programs, especially during the summers, like summer camp activities, or check with a school. But it's going to have to be really specific to your area if they have any interest in doing arts and crafts projects. You could also post these on Buy Nothing. I would highlight what the brands are and maybe the date range to help move them along. But what I'm gonna do, because I know it works in my neighborhood, we have about 15 little free libraries. So I'm just gonna break these up a little bit and just I'm gonna try and take a backpack. It might have to be a couple trips. And just put like a little handful in a couple, because there's like 4 just right by me on my regular walking route. And I'm just gonna put these in there so people can go through and they can grab them. And then, you know, if the little free library owner at any point decides they've been in there too long, these can be very easily recycled. So that's what's going to happen with magazines. Oh, I did also check with the Inside Books Project, which is a project in Texas that sends reading material to inmates. They do not want magazines. It's probably too much magazine, and that gets a lot for them to have to process when they're so desperately trying to meet the inquiries and the needs of the inmates, which are a little bit more self-improvement, personal interest, educational, and not necessarily magazine-based. So that's also not an option. If you come up with another group or idea that might take magazines, please let me know, because I would love to share that with people. And I also just want to encourage you to maybe not have a stack of magazines behind your reading chair. I love the idea. I'm a big reader myself too, but like this was really dusty. Did have to kind of process through it. They're always awkward to move. So as with anything, I recommend that you process it as soon as possible. And something else that I talked with this particular person who I'm helping with these on is they kept one of their subscriptions, and they said their friends go through them when they visit. And I love that. If that is like, if there's an active use for older issues in your home, in your life, in your groups, wonderful. But please be regularly reflective on both, on things that can pile up like books and magazines, is that if they are not moving, if you're not referring to them. I had a particular subscription for a while and I kept it. I never went back through them. And then so a couple years later, I was like, I'm just gonna pull out good articles. I had flagged some with Post-it notes, and I'm like, I'm just gonna pull out these articles in case I ever need them. More years go by. I just have the articles in binders and folders. Never looked at them. That's not to say that there aren't people out there who would go back and look at them. I will just tell you that in my family's experience, I'm going to speak on behalf of my family and certain collections of magazines that they have or have had, we don't go back. So, putting that out there as well. Oh, another thing is if your magazine is related to a particular area of interest and there's like a meeting place or a group or a religious institution that may be interested, please ask them first. Make sure they have space and help them have a process for income and taking care of them. Then also check with them. So I'm explicitly thinking of a couple of things like Shambhala, there's subscriptions for that. There's different Buddhist and meditation subscription magazines. So maybe there's a center or a temple that would be interested, either having it in their own library or making it available. Like, here's a free magazine section and people could take them. I would love that. That would be a really great sustainable way to keep those things moving through that specific community. There's also specific like aid relief or denominational magazines. Again, ask that place of worship if they want to have either it added to their library, with a process for record retention. Please keep that in mind, because you'll run out of shelf space really quickly, or your library will become obsolete. Or again, wonderful, here's a free section, because then maybe somebody will learn about a magazine subscription or reader subscription, or pamphlet or devotional or, whatever it is that you're getting, that you're kind of sharing with others. Maybe they'll take an interest in it and maybe they'll get their own subscription, or the place of worship could have its own subscription that you can rent or borrow or just read before or after the service. That would be great, because then you have it's great for minimizing resources. It's not so great for the publisher if there's less subscriptions. But if there's a breakfast group and you guys all share one magazine, I love that. So there's that. I'm thinking of two specific examples. So yeah, I hope that helps. And I know we spent all the money and we read the magazine and we loved it. It was great. I feel like it's going to be really important, so I should keep it. How often is someone else going to really go through that? Or the other people in your family? Please be really honest with yourself, or do some timing and scheduling to process that, or specifically ask them. And then I think if you do have a collection of magazines or books, specifically my dad has every Sports Illustrated since he started subscribing, back in, I don't know, high school. That's not something that my family necessarily wants to inherit, me or my brother, but somebody's gonna want that. And so just making plans and doing the research for where that's going to go, that wonderful gift to someone. Make sure that you're helping with that, so that what you have doesn't become a burden, and that it does in fact go where you want it to go and where it will be appreciated. Because please keep in mind that even if you want it to go to family, if they don't want it, or they don't have the space, or they're moving around or whatever, and their lifestyle can't accommodate it, that's kind of defeat your intentions. So make sure that you have plans to maximize where you want your things to go. Okay, got a little hard there at the end, but I want you guys to be thinking long term to a certain extent, because that's how we get into the place of where we are, where we're holding on to all of these things. And then also maybe make sure you're storing them inside and air controlled, that you're making sure you're monitoring for pests and silverfish and other things like that. Okay, thanks.